Can you all hear me? Yes. Yeah, am I? Okay. Do you know, I'm really nervous. I hardly ever speak in front of grown-ups. My preferred age is sort of 0 to about 10, I guess. And also, when I came here, I heard there were going to be 75 delegates, and I thought, oh, that's fine. I'll just bring a few books with me, and I'll be able to share them with you all, because I thought you'd all be sitting on a mat on the floor. You can squeeze about 70 children into this space here, normally, so you're a bit far away, some of you, but I am going to persevere. I'm going to use some of my actual books, but I have actually got quite a lot of stuff on screen as well. I have a lovely job drawing pictures for books. And I'm going to share some books that you've seen before, some new books. I'm delighted to share the book that will be going out to children courtesy of this wonderful organisation. And just having a general chat about books. And if you've got anything you want to ask me, absolutely feel free. We'll keep it very casual. Actually, I've got to ask one or two of you to help me with one of the books I want to share. So I'm going to go one onto this table. One on this table. Have a little play with it. It's a pop in the slot book, so you get to make up your own story. If you could just do that, and I'll come back later on, and we'll see what... it's self-explanatory. If you open it up, you'll see there are little pictures to pop in each page to make a story. Okay, right, let's see if I can work this. Yeah, I'm going to just tell you a bit about me growing up and how books were important to me as a youngster. I'm from a very ordinary family. My dad worked in a brewery, my mum was a teacher and then a social worker, and I've got one, they're not all my brothers and sisters, I'm one of 4, but this is a friend. This is such a nice photo. It's the only photo like it where we're interacting with a book, but it's a friend reading us a story. I'm next to my sister at the back there. And I just love this photograph because just look how rapt everybody is in that story. Completely. Nobody looking at the camera, nobody self-conscious about having their photo taken. We're just absolutely entranced by this story. It was a fairy story. I remember the story. And yes, books did have an important role in our life. We didn't have a huge number of books. I grew up in the 1960s. And we kind of shared the books that we had amongst us. But there were some that really stood out for me, and whenever I talk about them, I start to go a bit goosebumps. I'm doing it right now. I'm going goosebumpy. I can feel the goosebumps on my cheeks, because the memories of those first picture books are so strong. They stay with you forever. They're really, really important. And there were particular books that I just had a connection with. Always having loved drawing as a child, always being quite visually aware, there were certain picture books that just I fell in love with. And there's The Happy Lion at the top, The General by Michael Foreman, a David McKee book, Toucan. And this is slightly different, but it's the style of drawing that I was particularly attached to. This is Joe from a television programme, but he was also in books as well. Does anybody remember Joe? You're all too young. You do at the back, yes. And I think you can probably see they did, really influence me. My style, my choice of colours, bright colours, growing up in the 60s, it wasn't just in books, it was everywhere, but bright colours. But these books in particular just make me go goosebumpy because they were so important to me. Particularly The General, that was my absolute favourite. And I lost that book in a house move. I moved around quite a lot as a youngster. Lost that book when I was about 4 or 5, I think, and never ever forgot the pictures. And then about 10 years ago, a friend bought me a copy. He heard me going on and on about it, and when I opened it up, it was just incredible because my memory, I remembered the whole book. I didn't remember the words, I remembered the pictures particularly, but it just, I'd never forgotten any of the details. And then when I was a little older and reading stories for myself, these are some of the books I like, the Roald Dahl books, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach. And these were the first edition books, so they had slightly different illustrations to the Quentin Blake illustrations. I'm much older than the Quentin Blake generation. But again, the black and white illustrations really, really stayed with me. I think illustrations can even in black and white illustrations, in chapter books, have a really important role to play. They certainly encouraged me to read longer books. I wasn't the most... I needed a bit of encouragement, and little chapter headings, or if there were lovely full-page illustrations, really, really helped me in that. And there are just some other sorts of graphics from the time that I grew up in the 1970s, which influenced my work. And here's me. This is another nice photo. I've got two really nice photos. One of each. One of us looking at a book, and one of me doing my absolute favourite thing, drawing, or making a picture, to be precise, because I'm actually painting there in the back garden, looking very pleased with myself. Lovely sunny day, doing what I love more than anything else, which is creating something on a piece of paper that sort of has a life of its own, it comes to life. And I'm busy painting away there. And I'm still doing the same thing now. Still wearing stripy tops. Actually, I'm not wearing stripes today, am I? But I wear a lot of stripy tops. Sit looking quite pleased with myself, drawing pictures. If they're going well, I look pleased with myself. Not everybody believes this, but it is really hard work being an illustrator. It really is. Sometimes I have to say there's a bit of bad language goes on. It doesn't go quite right. But this actually isn't in my studio. This is in an exhibition, a Jacqueline Wilson exhibition that happened a few years ago. And currently there's an exhibition all about my work that's touring the country, and it's coming to Mansfield, for those of you who are local. It's coming to Mansfield later on this year. So I'm going to be there at the opening day. Come along and say hello. And it's called Pirates, Plants and Elephants. You can see it's a very serious exhibition. And there's all kinds of hands-on activities, lots of things to explore, lots of drawing to do, lots of books, a lovely book corner where you can have a look at all the books that I've done, which comes up to about 260 books now altogether. I've been busy over the years. But just to go back to childhood again, when I first got into drawing, I'm really, really delighted to be here today in Nottingham, because I spent some of my childhood in Nottingham. And some of my most important drawings, the drawings I did from childhood, which are incredibly important too to me, were done in Nottingham or Nottinghamshire. And this is a piece of schoolwork that I did, a project on water, evaporation and condensation. And I thought I'd jolly it up a bit, instead of just writing out my experiment. I thought I'd add a few cartoons, and some nice lettering and some nice graphics, and even a little cartoon down the bottom. And I don't think my style has particularly changed since I was 9 when I did that. And I did this picture. This picture set me on the road. This is my most important picture ever. This is a drawing I did when I was 9. We were actually living outside of Nottingham then. We lived in Ravenshead, and I went to the primary school there. And I took this picture into school, which I'd drawn at home, and it was pinned up on the school hall. And the self-confidence that gave me, and the kind of the feeling of achievement, really was, set me off on the road of thinking, I want to do this more and more. I want to do it for a job. So that picture is my most important picture. And I loved coming into Nottingham on the bus. I used to, we lived in Arnold for a while, but then we moved out. But I would come in on a Saturday morning, and the Victoria Centre had just been built, which shows you how old I am. And I just thought it was fantastic. So wonderful. It was all gold then. I've just been into it earlier on, and it's not gold anymore, but it was all gold in those days. And and I drew this picture from memory of what was going on in the centre. And here's a close-up. It's a bit difficult to see, but here's a close-up. Wow. I've just been to I just had my lunch in John Lewis's, which used to be Jessop's. And, oh my goodness, I was so shocked the clock's not there anymore. It's at the other end. It's at the other end? Oh, I'll have to rush back. Thank goodness, I thought the world had ended. I know it. I've been back to Nottingham. I've been lucky enough to come back to do various things for the library over the years, and the clock's always been there, but today it wasn't there. Anyway, so it hasn't. We've still got some of the same shops in there, but yeah, this is the drawing I did there, and I was very into very detailed drawings, drawing every little detail, telling myself a story as I drew the picture. Sometimes sort of normal sorts of stories, sometimes a bit exaggerated, like people sliding down the escalator in sort of French fancy dress. So we'll go into that. But I just love telling stories to myself as I drew the picture, and I think that was my response to other pictures too, that way that a child can lose themselves in the picture and tell themselves all sorts of stories which aren't in the author's text, they're just in the child's mind and in their personal connection with the picture. So I carried on doing really detailed drawings, and then I moved to Manchester and carried on drawing very detailed pictures. This is when I was about 15, and it's kind of my tribute to Lowry, because Lowry was the artist of the 70s. Everybody had a Lowry print in their living room, and I had a go at doing Lowry, but he didn't use felt tip pens, so it's much more like a Where's Wally drawing. But it's all drawn from memory, from imagination, except for the vehicles, which are copies of my Matchbox toys and a copy of one of my dad's Matchbox toys, or Dinky toys, the bread fan. Can you see the this bread fan? Now, this picture, I was doing a talk, one of my rare talks to adults. I was talking to a group of writers about 15, 16 years ago, and one of the writers in the conference was Pippa Goodhart, and she thought perhaps, having seen this really detailed picture, perhaps I'd like to have a go at drawing a book with detailed pictures. And I said, yeah. And the result was You Choose. So it came kind of pretty much directly from Pippa having seen those very detailed pictures that I drew as a boy. And You Choose was, I have to say, it nearly killed me drawing. It's the first book I had done so deep with such detailed pictures. Since I was a boy, I kind of moved away from that a little bit. But I was so glad that I did it, because it's become a very popular book, and so often at book signings, it just makes me feel so lovely to when families come up and they have a copy that has actually physically been rubbed away. Yeah. It's the only book of mine that people stroke, love, and wear it away. It's just incredible. So all the edges have gone, and it's just so lovely to see those. Because Pippa had a brilliant idea just to have a book with very few words, but lots and lots and lots of potential for enjoying the illustrations, pondering on what you would choose. We all remember looking at catalogues. Do you remember looking at catalogues? Oh, I'd love to live in this house. I'd love to wear those. And it wasn't just choosing the things, it was the whole world that went around it. So you imagined yourself in the 70s, it would be platform boots, thinking what you could do if you could wear platform boots. But, so this book has all the different things to choose, like who you would have for a friend. I did sneak in Tracy Beaker, my most famous character that I've been lucky enough to draw. Little girls choosing Tracy Beaker. But also where you could live, how to travel, what you'd like to wear. And I use this book a lot when I go into schools. Do you know, funnily enough, I have hardly ever used it one-to-one. I've used it with big groups. I don't have children of my own, so the way I work is mostly on instinct, just remembering what the primary school age Nick Sharratt loved in the way of books, and what interested him and what amused him, what his sense of humour level was like. Or I go into schools and I see I work with the children and pick up what they like. And this is a book I use quite often. And to sort of make it a bit more fun, I will choose people to draw pictures of. So maybe we could have a quick play. I'm keeping my eye on that clock. But somebody wants to come and choose a few things. Who wants to come and choose what they'd like to wear? Oh, go on. You get a nice picture out of it. Come and stand up here. Right, so don't tell everybody, they can have a guess. Okay, so what would you like to wear? I do this with the teachers, actually. Oh, okay, fine. Right. Oh, actually, what I'll do is I'll turn this around, and then I can draw it. Okay, so you take the book. So I'm going to draw, let me just draw your face first of all. And I just, you can't see me. Let me have a look. Right. Okay, you're going to choose some other things later on, so wait for you. Just see what. Okay, so you've chosen that. Now, if we just move on to that, you've chosen what you'd like to wear. You choose a pair of shoes and a hat to go with it. Okay, choice. And a hat as well. Yeah. You've chosen. Okay, very good. Right, okay. So you've chosen those things, and then how about something to eat? That is a bit further into.
I think he's a vegetarian.
I'm vegan.
Vegan!
Okay, well, hopefully I've been very inclusive and I've been do try and be inclusive in books, it's important, so let's see if you can find something.
Well, not the boar's head.
Not the boar's head. Good, that's normally the choice of a lot of children. I forgot what, but yes. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right, okay. So that was a... And just choose one more thing. How about a pet? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right. Right. Okay, right.
Great person, my picture.
Okay, I've nearly finished. Sorry, it's boring for you. This is bad. What's your name?
Neil.
Neil. N-E-L. Right. Okay, so if we just go back. So Neil chose the Star Trek outfit.
Yeah.
With the platform boots, good choice, I'd go for those myself. And the King's Crown. And your food would be what would be in that pie there? What would be in a pie suitable for a vegan?
Probably parsnips and butternut squash,
yeah,
maybe something like
very
that.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
butternut squash pie. And your pet is a shaggy...
She's a shaggy sausage dog. I do have a shaggy
Right.
sausage dog. Called
Okay.
Angus.
Right, well you can have that then. So it's a really fun book to play with. And those are me and Pippa in our choices. So I went for the same shoes as you. The Elvis after the Tam Chapter. Currently live in Scotland. And Pippa looks very fetching in her bunny slippers. So, as is the way with so many books that I've been involved with, you do one book and you put all your heart and soul into it and you just think, that's it, and that's, it's a one-off. And lo and behold, when you've done it, you've been so stimulated that you get ideas for another one. So, very nicely, the next book was Just Imagine, which is the book here. And Just Imagine, I'm going to show you my choices in Just Imagine, which is another great book for conversations, really good book for conversations. I've had lots and lots of feedback from, I know about drawing, and I work very instinctively. I haven't trained to produce children's books, specifically children's books. I did an art training, but I kind of work on my own instincts really, but I've had lots of wonderful feedback about these books, about how useful they are for children who don't have English as a first language, for children who have issues going on, who who need a little encouragement to have conversations. Lots of extraordinary stories I've heard, and it's just heartwarming to think that these books can help in a way. But with this book, it's also primarily, when I'm doing books, I'm thinking of fun. I really want to have fun in the book. So my choices are, if I could be big, I would like to, any guesses what I'd like to do? I'd like to have my dinner with my dump truck. Food does feature a lot in my work, particularly my own authored books. If I was very little, I don't think I'd want to fall down a plug hole.
Ride the bird.
Fly on a bird?
Yeah.
No. A cup. If I was made of something different, what would I be made of?
Snow.
Snow? No, not snow. Lego, yes, somebody said it. Yeah, Lego. If I could go back in time, where would I go back in time now?
Dinosaurs.
No. Well, yeah. 60s stroke 70s, I guess, yes. Afghan coat time. If I could invent a machine, what would my machine make? Now, if you know any of my other books, there's a food that pops up. Jelly, yes, excellent. So what's the conveyor belt? Jelly. Green, always green jelly with a red cherry on it. If I could do magic tricks or be magic, how would I be magical? I would turn into a genie. I could wear nice big earrings. And if I could be an animal, what animal would I be? We had one of these when I was a boy. But the catch was well, actually, yeah, I say that. We didn't have a giant tortoise, but we had a little tortoise, yeah. They're quite a 70s, 60s thing as well. If I could be a pet, what pet would I be? Not a tortoise this time.
A rabbit.
I would be a fish, a goldfish. And if I lived underground, I don't think I would want to work underground or live in a bat-infested cave. I would like to live in a little gnome house.
Makes a good name.
And if I could travel on wheels, the way I would go is on a unicycle. And if I could live in the sea or the sky, I would like to be using one of those jetpack things and fly off into the sky. And actually, that kind of has led on to another You Choose type book, another You Choose Just Imagine book, which I haven't shown. I've shown one school that I am associated with up in Scotland. I haven't shown anybody else. So can I show you it? It's a work in progress. It's a secret between us, but it's the next You Choose book, which has taken me a long time to do. They do take a long time to do, but I just want to see what you think about it. I'll just whiz through the pictures, because I've got so much I'd like to share with you. But it's called You Choose in Space. And some of the pictures I haven't even finished colouring in yet, but it's going to be, if you go off, so it's a combination of You Choose and Just Imagine. It's You Choose with all the choices to make, but with an extra element of fantasy. So the first book nearly killed me, this book has nearly killed me too, because not only have I got to draw all these things, I've got to turn them, got to make them unique and specially sort of futuristic. Anyway, there's the spaceship. Here's the planet that they land on, which I'm still colouring in. So familiar and completely bizarre things all mixed together. Here are the clothes to wear. Did I get some platform shoes in there? Sort of. Yeah. And fancy hairstyles. And this is the city they visit. And the friends that they could make. And the things they could eat. Jelly, of course. Jelly. Where should I be aiming this? Over there, yeah. Okay. So animals, which is kind of I've taken a lot of those from YouTube, but literally taken them from YouTube, but then kind of spliced them together to get a, what would you call the, a crocodile, I suppose, or a girrigator, and a uni tiger, or any cat. What was that?
A rhino zebra.
A rhino zebra, yes, yeah.
Or a hippo zebra.
So yes, so that's that page. The text hasn't been entirely sorted out yet either. This is a work in progress. So then you come back and this one I think is going to be, instead of choosing any of these characters, some of whom are from YouTube and some are from this time you've got to do something in front of your audience, so it's up to you how you're going to entertain them. You're going to sing a song or tell a joke or something like that. So you're actually really sort of involved in the book that way. And then where would you go for a little rest? So I'm still colouring that picture in, different sorts of apartments. And then home again, which planet would you go to? And the school in Aberdeen that I have been working with a lot and showed this book to, they all knew exactly which planet I would, they know me very well at this school now, and they knew which planet I would head for once I left this planet Pink and Mix. Which planet do you think I'd go to?
Cheese.
Not cheese, no. No.
Yellow
Disco
planet.
ball.
Disco ball planet, yes. I do love food, but I think I like disco even. Anyway, so what do you think? Do you think it looks... Yeah, well, good. That's encouraging. I think it will work well. It's taken quite a lot of working out, and to make it not too sort of science spacey, but make it sort of have lots of different bits of appeal, like food and clothes and that kind of thing. Okay, right. So I'm just going to whiz through some of my favourite books to use when I'm working with children, reading to children at book events or going into schools or libraries. And there's a big variety. I'm so lucky that I get to work with brilliant authors like Jack Wilson, like Giles Andre, Julia Donaldson, and also do my own books as well, and work for all ages, from tiny little babies up to teenagers. And Pants, who knows Pants? Do you all know Pants? Shall we just say it, because it's such a nice book to read. This is just straightforwardly, if it sounds lovely, you know, it's great. And this book is a book that children can join in with really, really early on. It's just got such a lovely rhythm to it. And let's all read it together anyway, quite quickly. Small pants, big pants, giant frilly big pants, new pants, blue pants, 1, 2, 3. Rich pants, poor pants, swinging on the door pants. How many pants can you see? 11. Rudy pants, funky pants, cheeky little monkey pants. Pants you can wear if you're 10 feet tall. Loose pants, tight pants, lighting up at night pants. Black pants, white pants, no pants at all. Every child's favourite drawing. Hands to pick a daisy, hands for being lazy, hands on your head when you've gone crazy. Funny pants, money pants, wear them when it's sunny pants. Have you seen these funny pants? Yes, I have. Wear them when you're happy pants, little baby nappy pants, special pants for driving in the car. Fairy pants, hairy pants, run away from scary pants. What a lot of lovely pants there are. So it's always a really fun one to read, that one. I always do that, little baby nappy pants. But what was I going to say? Oh yes, there's also an audio version of this with Lenny Henry. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. It's so good, I've actually got it on my iPod. He sings it in country and western. He sings it in disco. fantastic. He sings it as in a sort of rock and roll style, which I think is the best one. Reggae, he sings it in all different ways, and he does a really, really good job. It's not one of those tapes that you think, oh please, no, it's really, really good. And this is another book written by somebody else that I just really, really enjoy reading with children of all ages, not just little ones, because I tend to get, when I do, particularly if I do a book festival or actually when I go into school sometimes, I get the whole school in the hall, and so I've got, you know, from nursery up to year 6, and I really like using picture books with older children as well. I think, you know, it's a shame when there's this thing that once you start reading chapter books, you shouldn't really be looking at picture books. They're too young, and I think that's just a shame. So I try very much to make my books as all-encompassing as possible. So there's always a bit of humour that older children can enjoy too, and just kind of relax and have fun and not feel, you know, just enjoy it. So this one works with all ages, I think, and it's I'll have to remember. I should know the words. I've read it enough time. I preface it because it's called Never Use a Knife and Fork. So it's a very jokey book, not meant to be taken seriously, and not everybody does use a knife and fork to eat. But if I'm eating an egg, a fried egg, I'm much better off myself using a knife and fork. And there are actions to do. So. Throw away your knife. Never use a knife and fork. I won't get you to do all the actions. Stop your mouth till you can't talk. Soak your pigtails in your soup. Squish your fish cake to glue. Slosh your squash around your cup. Use your sleeve to wipe it up. Scrape your biscuit with your teeth, which we've all done, haven't we, with a cup biscuit? And suck ice cream with the knee. We've done that too. That's not actually naughty, that's necessary. Squirt your yogurt from the pot. Tie your sausage in a knot. Slurp your gravy through a straw. Sound effects galore. Bounce your burgers off the door. Paint a picture with your peas. Squeeze some cheese between your knees. Pile up puddings on your toast. Give the dog the turkey roast. Hide spaghetti in your hair. Keep crisps in your underwear. That always gets the best response. Yeah. Juggle jelly, treading bread. Balance bagels on your head. Wolf down waffles whilst you walk, but never use a knife and fork. So it's a really fun one to use, and I always try and remember to take some bagels with me to do the great bagel balancing thing, which is always a good activity to do. Actually, top tip, stale bagels are really good. They're a little bit hard, but they can get too hard and then they're a bit dangerous. And I also am skilled at juggling jellies now as well. I should have bought some, shouldn't I? So that was by Neil Goddard, and that's a nice one to work with. And I'm going to whiz through some of my own books that, like drawing has always come very, very naturally to me, and I'm first and foremost an illustrator, but I really, really love the challenge of creating the whole book and doing the words as well, and I'm getting more confident as the years go by. This was the first one that I did, one of the first ones, a long time ago. Actually, we're talking about 20 years ago now. And the way I started off working with words, and also I should have said I do kind of quite a lot of work with children as well. I forgot to show you a lovely book I was sent about pants, where children have made up their own verses, because it's such a good rhythm. It's very easy to have a go at doing it yourself. So we've got stripy pants, spiky pants, sporty, stretchy Nike pants, amazing new crikey pants, wow, they're great. Paper pants, tin pants, put them in the bin pants, popping with the pin pants, bang, bang, bang. And tricky pants, sticky pants, very, very quicky pants, just in case you're sicky pants. Yeah, no thanks. Anyway, yes, so this one is all based around the word Dave, just thinking of rhymes to go with Dave and creating a story like that, which again is a really good activity to do with children. So, Caveman Dave lives in a cave. He doesn't wash and he doesn't shave. He's smelly, but he's very brave. Wild animals don't frighten Dave. At bears and tigers he will wave. He tells fierce mammoths to behave. Dave really is extremely brave. Oh, yes, sorry. Dave really is extremely brave. But Dave's sister Ava is brave. And when I did this book, it was 20 years ago, no girls were called Ava at all. It wasn't a popular name. I bet you all know Avas now, do you?
Yeah.
It's really, I put it all down to my book. Another way into doing books for me is to lots of wordplay, but very simple play. Also, I find my books are quite short, which I think is an advantage when you're doing a group situation. Lots of books are fantastic for reading one-to-one. Hopefully mine work one-to-one too, but I think sometimes with a large audience, particularly with young children, you don't want something too long. So Octopus, Socktopus is very short on the words, but hopefully there's plenty of amusing things in it. So it's a lift the flap book. So Octopus, Socktopus, Goldie Locktopus. And her bows go round like propellers. Cuckoo Clocktopus. Oh, hold on, sorry. Cuckoo Clocktopus. I've no idea what noise a cuckoo clocktopus could make. We always discuss it. Some children have more imaginative suggestions than others. Anyway, cuckoo clocktopus, toffee chocktopus. Yum. Scary shocktopus. Chicken pocktopus. Oh, send for the doctopus. Helicoptopus. Punk rocktopus. Furry octopus.
Oh.
Eight-wheeled octopus. Eight-wheeled octopus. Cue for singing The Wheels on the Octopus Go Round and Round. A party frocktopus. Everybody blow at the picture. Everybody blow. Octopus. Not noctopus, not noctopus. It's chockable octopus. Is everybody coming for that? Nick of Octopus's party. So, they're fun to create, these books are fun to create. I mean, it's just really relaxing and having as much fun as possible. And if I'm having fun, then hopefully that's usually a good sign the book is going to work. There are always a few ideas that fall in the bin. Like with this book, we had Octopus.
Octopus.
Octopus. Which means nothing to anybody under 40 now. Octopus. Seaside octopus. Okay, right. What was I going to show you next? Sort of another device that I really, really enjoy using, and I enjoy sharing with children too, are flap books, because they are great because there's no rules or rhymes to them. I mean, a very young child can feel in control of a flap book and have fun with it. There's no proper beginning or end, it's just having fun changing the pictures. So do you like ketchup on your cornflakes? Or do you like custard on your cornflakes? Or toothpaste on your cornflakes? And you know, they can have a definite answer. I mean, food is such a good subject for children's books because they have very, very strong opinions about what they like and what they don't like. And feel in control of that. So this is a book of lots of mix-up. Do you like a duck on your chip? Do you like talcum powder on your chips? Do you like talcum powder in your egg, and so on, and so on. So this is one flat book, ketchup on your cornflakes. And there was another one called The Big Book of Crazy Mix-Ups. So this one is more kind of more visual mix-ups. So spiders and ice cream, and grannies, and pizza and grannies, exploding grannies, and so on. And, again, they're good fun to do. They're also quite good fun for children to make as well. I mean, they involve various things like you've got to do some measuring and you've got to make sure that your pictures match up, so there's a bit of spatial awareness involved, but it's very satisfying to do with a group of children. I've been sent many books from schools of their own flat books. Where's my favourite one? It's not a pineapple baby. It's not a Kelly baby. Or a boiled baby. It's a jelly bean. Yeah. Okay, right. So, what shall I show you next? I think I might take those books back in that I handed out. Okay, this is a book that. Have you done it?
We had a quick play.
A quick play. You've done the whole thing, hopefully, have you?
Oh no, sorry.
Oh dear. Where was the other one? They haven't done. Oh, it's my communications. Right, have a quick play whilst I read the first one. This is called Once Upon a Time. Nice simple story, and it's another book that is fun to use because it's one that children can really. I really like to make the children feel that they are really participating and they are really controlling this book. And then she wished for a fairy cake for her tea, and a brand new football, and she wished for a pirate that she could marry, and all her wishes came true. Well done, thank you. So this table, it might be the same, it might be different. If it's the same, you have to shout out snap. Once upon a time there was a beautiful princess who lived on top of a hill in a snap. She lived all by herself except for Fred, her pet goldfish. One day when the beautiful princess was out walking, she met a magic toy. No, she didn't. Magic unicorn. I can almost guarantee it's going to be a toy. A magic unicorn who said, "Beautiful princess, today is your lucky day because I will grant you 3 wishes." The beautiful princess thought very hard, and then she wished for a worm for her tea, and a brand new pair of shoes, and she wished for a pop star that she could marry. It was a bit like Rod Stewart. And guess what? Her wishes all came true. So that was quite different, wasn't it? Where's the last one? Have you done it? Okay, one more. Once upon a time there was a beautiful princess who lived on top of a hill in a teapot. She lived all by herself except for Fred, her pet dog. One day when the beautiful princess was out walking, she met a magic fairy who said, "Beautiful princess, today is your lucky day because I will grant you 3 wishes." The beautiful princess thought very hard. And then she wished for a worm for her tea. And she wished for a brand new bike. And she wished for a pirate that she could marry. And guess what? Her wishes all came true. So there's a male equivalent. Well, not a male. I mean, this is enjoyed by both girls and boys. But there's a pirate story that has a main character in it too. So the princesses and pirates. Right. What else shall I show? I think I'll show you another flat book, which is a slightly older one, but good fun to do. And this actually came about from another school that I worked with down in Portsmouth, and the whole thing came together from a very inspiring art week that I had at the school. So it's a very two-way process when you get involved with schools. It's kind of it's a flat book with special flaps that can be opened two ways. It's called a Milton's Wallet, and you can open it two ways. I'll whiz through because I've got 3 minutes, but I really wanted to show you something else after this, so I'll just show you a couple of these ones. What's in the fridge in the witch's kitchen? Open it left or open it right. Will you like what you see? Will it give you a fright? So you can open it one way, you get tasty cheese, or you can open it the other way, and you get something that rhymes with cheese.
Peas?
Mushy peas.
Oh, sorry. Tasty cheese, mushy peas would be... no, back to please. What's in the bowl in the witch's kitchen? Open it left or open it right. Will you want to shout yuck? Will you cheer with delight? So one way it's toffee popcorn, and the other way it's... Well done, yes, slimy frogs. I'll just show you one more. What's brewing in the witch's kitchen? Open it left or open it right, and it might not be dreadful, but then it just might. Strawberry tea or wee. Oh, hold on. Strawberry tea or goblins. There's another one which you probably guess, which I can't show you, I haven't got time, which is what's in the cooker? Is it a cherry tart? And I'll leave that. Anyway, I just really want to finish off with probably my favourite book of my own that I've written. I haven't got time to go to show it, but it's in a series called Shark in the Park. And these books have been, particularly with librarians, they seem to be really, really popular. And the first one was called Shark in the Park. And I need some people to help me come and perform Shark in the Park on a windy day, because I think one of the reasons it's popular is there's kind of actions for children to do, and it's a good one to perform. And this is the latest one. So I need somebody to come and be the little boy in the story, and I need 3 trees. And I will pick unless you volunteer. So I need 3 backing singer type trees. You don't have to sing, you just have to sway. You've got to be good movers. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. And then somebody a male to be Timothy Pope, and that's all we need. How about you? You'd be a great Right. So, okay, so our trees, we'll have an orange tree, and a red tree, and a yellow tree. I just need to whisk through, get to the right thing. And Timothy Pope, it's a windy day, so you can have a scarf. And a telescope. You can extend that telescope a bit. This is my special homemade telescope. Wait. With some children, it's just that's big enough, but with it's held together with a scrunchie. Homemade props. Right, and a scarf for you. Sorry. Right. Sorry, I've just got to whiz through. Bear with me. Sorry. Okay, right, yes. So here we go. Right. Shark in the Park on a windy day. And I'll be... No, I still can't. I won't, but I'll show you what Dad can look like. Get one of these. It's a very good prop to have if you're doing it. You can get these from joke shops, but this is Dad. Right. It's a wild, windy day, and a certain small boy is out with his dad and his favourite toy. Timothy Pope tries looking through his telescope. The wind blows his scarf. The wind blows his hair. You all have to blow. Now we've all got to sway trees. He's blown this way and that way. But Tim doesn't care because this is what he sees. Tim knows that shape and he knows what to do. He shouts, "Shark in the park." Can you shout that out too?
Shark in the park!
Right on that hole in the page.
Oh.
It isn't a shark that Timothy sees. It's a big black umbrella caught up in the breeze. Phew! Timothy Pope looks again through his telescope. The wind blows his scarf. The wind blows his hair. He's blown this way, and that way, and this way, and that way. But Tim doesn't care because this is what he sees. Oh dear me, Tim's got no choice. He shouts,
Shark in the park!
at the top of his voice. What a relief. It isn't a shark, it's a big friendly dog with a big friendly bark. Woof! Timothy Pope has one last look through his telescope. The wind blows his scarf. The wind blows his hair. He's blown this way, and that way, and this way, and that way, and this way, and that way. But Tim doesn't care because this is what he sees. Tim does what he knows he must. He shouts,
Shark in the park!
till he's fit to bust. It isn't a... Oh, sorry, I didn't do the build-up, did I? It isn't a shark that Timothy spied. It's a runaway pram with a baby inside. And it's heading for the pond. Help! You can have other actors too. You can have Mum and all the other animals. Now watch my fantastic animation. Sorry, I'm going to do that again because I love it so much. Right. But Tim's dad runs fast, and you can build it up with a pram and a baby and everything. He grabs hold of the pram. The mother says, "Thank you, how grateful I am." "Really," says Tim's dad, "you ought to thank Tim. He spotted your pram, so it's all down to him."
Well done.
Nice dad.
That was exciting, says Tim. By the way, it's a good job there weren't any sharks here. All the children go, "There is a shark." Clap for our... Loads more to say, and I didn't get around to any questions, so do come and ask questions at the end if you want to. Yeah.
And get your book signed.
And get your book signed.
Yes.
Yes.